some outer space.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about Bod.
It's nothing serious.
No, it is.
Like we're the stars of the human race. Human race.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. My first question, where do you get the idea to make this film? When do you come the idea?
It's never one moment where you get the idea. So I work very closely with Efthimis that we wrote this together, and he's also a very good friend of mine. So we just discuss a lot about what we want to do and have like very few initial ideas of stories or situations that we want to explore, and we just discuss of how this could be made into a full story, a complete story, and then just start writing down. So I think on this one we just started by this story of a young kid that had lost his father, and he considered the doctor who operated on him responsible, so he wanted to make things right. And you know, it was basically a bit of a revenge story, but with a doctor and a young boy. And from there, you know, you just add things, because as you put the story together, you realize that you need certain type of things to push the story forward and to ask, you know, the questions that you want to ask about this situation. So, you know, that's where the supernatural element comes in, and everything else. So it's just a long process. And also at some point we did realize that there are some parallels with the Greek tragedy that we were familiar with, Iphigenia and Aulis. And so we also try to reference that in the film, because it's something that it's been there forever and we're aware of it, but not really revisiting it a lot necessarily. And those questions that tragedy asks and felt similar, or at least the premise of that, the start of it seems quite similar to our world. So we just wanted to associate it with our film.
Well, I'm a Mexican. What do you think about Mexican films, Mexican directors?
Well, there's definitely some great ones. I mean, I love the work of Carlos Reigadas, and who else? Remind me. Alejandro, of course, Inarritu.
Del Toro, Cuarón.
Del Toro, Cuarón. Yeah, there are many great Mexican filmmakers.
Okay. Working with Nicole Kidman, how it was to work with her?
It was great, because it's always, well, first of all, she's very talented and very committed, and very generous when she's working, and it's great when you work with people that are familiar with your work and appreciate it, because you know you speak the same language, and you understand that, you know, what they're working towards, creating something that you intended from the beginning, and they don't have their own theory about how, you know, things should be, or how different it should be from what you're trying to do. So it just was as easy as working with Colin, that I worked with for a second time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it just worked well, very well.
Last question. I saw a lot of Kubrick in your film. It is on purpose? It's an homage? What is?
No, it's not a person. I obviously love Kubrick, and yes, I mean, I don't know. I've watched his films 1,000 times, so probably.
Even the poster, the monolith on the poster.
Yeah, what does it remind you of?
Obvious 2000.
2001.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that clear to us, to be honest. We never referenced. I mean, that's a designer that I worked with in all of my films, except the first one, and he's a very good friend of mine, and he's just brilliant, and he just tried to convey, you know, the feel of the film in his poster, and that's what he came up with. And you know, Kubrick was never referenced, but yeah, I mean, again, I love Kubrick, and obviously I've watched his film so many times that, you know, there's so many things in there unconsciously that, yeah, why not? I mean, that's a compliment, I guess.
It is. It is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dad! Bob's dying!
You do realize, Stephen, we're in this situation because of you.